Hello.
Hi, Mario.
How are you?
I'm good.
Hello? Hello? Okay.
Hi, Ellen.
Good evening, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
We can't hear you.
I have nothing to say.
No. Where were you when you were waving the flags?
In Westwood.
Where?
Westwood on Wilshire and by the Federal Building.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
What, today?
People?
Is that
Yeah,
today?
today they had a pro-Israel demonstration.
Many people?
No, not that many. No.
Many people against?
No, nobody against.
Okay.
Nobody
Right.
against. Yeah.
I saw in the news they caught a couple of Hamas people preparing a drone with a bomb,
Yeah.
and they made the bomb explode on them.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Beautiful.
2 dead.
Excellent. It's a start. It's a good start.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Eh.
Hmm? Yeah.
Thank you, Johnny.
No problem. I'm already here, may as well.
Okay, Lamed Head, 35. My parva. What the place that the Kohen Gadol went to do the tefillah when he went to the mikvah was in the Lishkas Parva. Why is it called parva? Amr of Yosef, parva amgusha. Amgusha is one of the Persian Avodah Zarah names.
Sorcerer.
Yeah, he was like the Zoroastrians who, they worship fire. And this guy built it. He built this office. Remember, Koresh, the Persian, let them come back, let them Klal Yisrael. So he, at some point, helped build this office. Parcel Sodin Shalboitz. Then we said when he undressed, they put a sheet in front of him so that the people wouldn't see the Kohen Gadol getting undressed. Now, why did they use linen? Because all the big day love on the linen clothing that the Kohen Gadol wore is to remind everybody that all the avodot that day is going to be done in that kind of clothing. Then we said, the morning, the clothing that they wore in the morning was more expensive than they wore later on. Vitana minyana asala shmina. Understand? Later on, the Mishnah says 18 plus 12 equals 30. Well, I mean, what? The Tana is a math book. We know how to add 18 plus 12. Tell me it's 30. You cannot. You have to spend a minimum of 30 for both of the garments in the morning and the afternoon. You can spend more for one and the other, but you can't spend less than 30. There's no Isra, for example, you used the morning one 25 and the afternoon one 5. You could divide it up any way you want. But the kula alma miyas to shachar adif. But according to both of these shitas, it was clear that the morning one was more expensive. Now why? The nolam. Amar when Rabbi Loy Amar Kra bad. By the clothing that Kohen Gadol wore in the morning, it says 4 times bad. You have to move bad. So it teaches me that you had to take the finest linen. So Meisvei, we ask a kasha. It says, "V'lovshu begadim acherim, v'lo yikachu sa'am b'vigdeihem." This is in Yechezkel. That now my lav acherim chashuvin mehem. That the second kind of white garments has to be even more chashuv than the morning ones. Mar says, "Lo acherim plus mehem." It means the afternoon ones were less expensive. Tana Ravuna Bar Yehuda v'Amar Lav Rishon Bar Yehuda achar shekal savoris tzibur. After the Kohen is finished with the public avoda, Kohen sha'asalo imok tonus lov sheba'ovid bo avodas yachid. Now, we said that a mother of a Kohen can make him his own private garment, but but he has to give it over, since it was given to him privately by his mother. He has to give it over to the tzibur, like other of the kelim. So the Gemara says, Pshita, of course he has to give it. He can't do it with his private garment. I might have thought that maybe we don't rely on him giving it over because he always doesn't give it over with a full heart. Kamash Malon, that he gives it with a full heart. Amr Lav Abishmal ben Pabi, Sha'aslo Imok Torshel Me'amona. The mother of Rabbi Shmuel made him a ketonet of Me'amona. It's a massive amount of money. That's this amount of money that you give in your ksuba to your wife on your death or on divorce. That's Mona Masayim, it's a psula, and Me'amona if it's an almonis. It's a lot of money. The loivsha and the oivid ba'avodas yachid Mr. Tzibur, he used it even to do private korbanos, but he gave it over to the tzibur. Amar Lav Abelazar ben Charsum, who was very wealthy, she'asalo imok tonus mishtei ribo, 20,000, not 200, 20,000 zuz. But they didn't let him wear it because the garment was so fine. Near a car, it looked like he was not wearing any clothing at all. Freit the Gemara, how could they see him like naked? This kind of linen had to be 6 ply, so it's very thick. Yeah, but it's like they didn't see his flesh, but the linen was so fine, it still looked, if you looked at him, it looked like he wasn't wearing any clothing. Tan Rabban Ani v'Ashir, Rasha Boin Ladin. After Me'ah Esrim Shana, people are going to come up to Shammai, and there's going to be poor people, wealthy people, people who were Rishoyim. That means they leaned towards like immorality. So le'oni oimrim lo mimema lo esakta b'toy. Very appropriate for Shavuos, for Erev Shavuos. To the oni, they're going to say, how come you didn't learn Torah? Im oimer oni ayisi v'tor b'mezoyos. I was a poor person. I was running around constantly to make a living for my family. Oimer lo klumani ayisa yoser mi Hillel. Hillel Abavli, who made Aliyah from Bavel. He made like $50 every day. That's all. And half of it, you couldn't just go into the yeshiva You had to give money. It was like an entrance fee. So he had to give half of his pay to the Shomer Beis HaMedrash, and the other half of his earnings was to feed himself and his family. He didn't earn any money that day. And when he tried to go into the yeshiva, the guy didn't let him in. All of the nitla v'yashav al pi aruba. So there was a skylight on the roof of the yeshiva, and I guess it was open slightly, so he could listen. He went up to the roof and lied down on the skylight, so he could listen to what was going on in the yeshiva. To Yishma Divra L'Kim Chayim, they Shmaya V'Avtalyon. Shmaya V'Avtalyon were the Nasi and the Av Bezdin at that time. Amru Oso Ayom Erev Shabbos Sayid. That day was Friday. With Kufas Teves Sayid, it was winter. The Yorad Alav Shelek Ben Hashamayim, and snow fell. Kisha Olam Shachar, it came time, the morning. Amru Shmaya V'Avtalyon Achi. Understand? Every day at this time, the yeshiva lightens up. Today it's dark. Shema Yom Ma'unan, it was a cloudy day. They looked up and they saw the figure of a human being in the skylight. Hilla was buried by 3 feet of snow. Praku, so they dug him out. They bathed him, and anointed him, put him next to a fire. We would be, if it was Shabbos, we'd be Machal Shabbos. Because Nefesh is Doich Shabbos. So you see, even an Ani like Hillel, so if an Ani comes up to Shamayim and says, I was an Ani, I couldn't learn Torah, they're going to say to him, look at Hillel. You weren't more of an Ani than him, and look at how much he learned. What about an Oshir, a wealthy man? They'll also say to him, how come you didn't study Torah? Listen, I was a wealthy man. I had all sorts of businesses. I had to run there, and take care of my businesses. This is Elazar ben Charso that we just talked about. You weren't more wealthy than Rabbi Elazar. Rabbi Elazar ben Charso, Sheniach Aviv, Elef Ayaros B'Yabasha. His father left him 1,000 cities or villages that he owned, and he got that B'Yerusha. U'keneged on Elef Sfinos B'Yam. He had 1,000 boats plying the waters of the world with business. Every day we take a little bit of flour. I mean, you take like a little bag lunch with him. He went around to yeshiva after yeshiva to learn. He heard there was a good Dvar Torah there, good Dvar Torah there. His own servants found him. They didn't know who he was. They put him in the chain gang. Forceful worker. They thought he was just a villager, and he has to work for his pay. So he said to them, get me out of this press gang. I got to go learn Torah. What do you mean? They make a shua. By the life of Rabbi Elazar ben Charso, we're not letting you out. They didn't know it was him. He, all of his life, didn't even know who these people were, even though they worked for him. He didn't see all of his businesses. All he did was learn Torah. So an usher goes up to Shamayim, he's not going to have what to say because you have an usher like Rabbi Elazar. Rasha Oimrim Lo, a Rasha who has a big Yetzer Hara, Listen, I was handsome, and the girls were flocking around. How could I was popular. The girls were chasing after me. The Torah B'Yitzri. I was being seduced on this from here and there. Were you more handsome than Yosef Hatzadik?
Esther, Marvin just called me.
Did what? Tommy?
She was trying to seduce him every day with different stories. In the morning she gave him new garments. In the afternoon he gave her different garments. The garment that he wore at night, she gave him another garment for the next day. Amr lo, Hishamali. So, have relations with me. Amr la la. Yosef said no. Amr la, I'm going to put you in prison. Amr la, Hashem matir asurim. Okay, but Hashem will take me out of prison. So, we're going to chop you down to size because we're going to torture you. So Yosef said, Hashem zoikev kefufim. Hashem will make upright those that are bent over. She said, I'm going to blind you. So Yosef said, Hashem pokech ivrim. Hashem will open up my eyes. Nasalo elef kikrei kesef lishmoila. She gave him 1,000 rounds of silver. Lishkavitz la liyosima. Loratz lishmoila and didn't listen. And lishkavitz la boilam azel liyosima loilam haba. And he didn't want to do it because he didn't want to lose his olam haba. So nimsa Hillel machayves aniyim. Hillel makes a problem for aniyim. Aniyim is going to say, "Listen, I can't learn Torah." Hashem's going to say, "Look, what about Hillel? Hillel was able to do it." Rabbi Elazar ben Charsim machayves hashirim. Rabbi Elazar ben Charsim, any usher that comes up there and says, "I didn't have time to learn," he's going to be machayev them. Yosef machayves are showing. Mishnah. Balo Eitzel Paro. So now we begin the avoid of Yom Kippur. He comes to the cow. Uparo haya Omi ben Olam Mizbeach. The cow was standing between the Mizbeach and the Ulam, and the opening of the Heichal. Rosh Hashanah, its head was faced south, upon of Lamara, and they turned its head towards the Kodesh Kadosh. Hakoin Omi ben Mizrach, he stood to the east. Upon of Lamar facing the Kodesh Kadosh. He leans on the par and he does vidu. And we say this on Yom Kippur. Ono Hashem. He would say the name of Hashem. Ovisi porshati chatasi lefanecha. I sinned in front of you. Aniu vesi. Ono Hashem. Kaper na lavonis v'lapshoim v'lachatoim shavisi v'shapatati v'shachatai l'fanecha aniu vesi. Kakasu v'sores Moshe avdecha ki vayom hazeh yichaper. Now, when Klal Yisrael would hear him say the name of Hashem, Shem Amufoyrash, Hey Noinen Achrav Baruch Shem Kvod Malchuso Lo Olam. And we say all of this in the avodah of Yom Kippur in Musaf. Okay, so today
I want to throw these out.